And we're back. We're back. I know I've been gone. There's been a lot going on. Last week we missed an episode, but we're here to deliver. And I'm so glad that we have this moment here today because there's a lot that I want to discuss. Um, First, I want to say, prayers out to the families in Thailand who lost anyone during that mass shooting in the daycare. That was a really, 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 really heartbreaking story. And, again, mental health is a real thing and it exists all over the world. It turns out that ex cop also was fired for previous, I guess, drug activity on the job. So I don't really know what the story is there. But again,
That
prayers
was
out to the family.
horrible.
I just wanted to start by saying that because although, like, the Chella's Way Experience is a feel good show, we do like to acknowledge when people are suffering. So don't ever think for a second that we don't take that into consideration. I pay attention to news, not just regular news, but international news. So moving forward, there's a lot going on on social media, in the world, in people's lives. Just constant. So, there are a few things that I want to start talking about. The first thing I'm going to talk about is one of the like most watched not documentaries, most watched series on Netflix right now, which is Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story. So, as you know, everybody said that there was a lot going on with this story. For those that aren't familiar, again, if you weren't born in the 80s, you probably aren't familiar with the Jeffrey Dahmer story. I personally do remember this entire thing unfolding on the news. It was crazy. I remember, the biggest thing was, people were shocked more so not because he was gay, and he lived in, a poor neighborhood in Wisconsin, and he was targeting, so they say, black and brown people. It was just because of the fact that he was a cannibal. That was like one of the scariest things. However, a lot of people seem to have been outraged watching the Jeffrey Dahmer story. They went on to say, pull it from the LGBTQ section on Netflix. I don't really see the point of that. Jeffrey Dahmer was a gay man. Whether he was a psychopath, a serial killer, and a cannibal, it didn't make him any less gay. Um, they went on to say that the movie was a disgrace to black people. This was according to Lil Boosie. He went on to say that black people needed to cancel this series, and they weren't content with I guess what they saw. But let me just say this: Boosie is not a lead by example. My personal opinion. Also, Jeffrey Dahmer wasn't racist. He didn't kill people because they were black. He didn't kill people because they were Hispanic or Filipino or Asian. He killed people of all races because he was just a serial killer. That's what serial killers do. The word serial means to in a row, consecutively. It doesn't matter what you were. His obsession was the inside of a person, organs. That was his obsession, not the skin color. And a lot of people went on to say things like he was racist, and I just don't see how because he went on to explain his financial situation. And if you guys watched it in its entirety, you would see that the man was not financially stable, not nowhere near along the way. He constantly needed help from his father, constantly needed help from the grandmother, and he was more obsessed with his obsession than maintaining a normal life. Although he did try, from what I've seen, it just to no avail. It wasn't possible for him. His sickness took over. The black cop on the show went on to say, "Oh, you chose to live in a neighborhood that was under police, under patrolled, underserved because you knew that you would get away with committing these crimes here." And he went on to turn around and say, "This was all I could afford." And I said to myself, like, when we as black people listen, racism is going to forever be alive and it's always going to be a big deal because it exists. However, we need to stop dissecting every little thing and assuming that it's always racism because it's not. um there wasn't a negative connotation in the series that made me feel racism was even a concern. What I felt was he was in the same financial class as the people he lived around. And that was what he had access to. And in turn, he committed crimes. He killed at least 3 white men in the beginning. When he lived with his grandmother and his father, and he was in the suburbs, he committed crimes there. So again, that's just my personal opinion. I personally did not feel like there was anything racist about it. I felt like, he had access to what he had access to and committed crimes. Again, we all judge so harshly, but some of us don't really understand mental health. And if you really had an experience with that, I don't think that you'd spend your time being so judgmental about certain things, because you'd say to yourself, okay, clearly it's deeper than that. But, that's for the open-minded. Hopefully we all get there one day. Kanye West. Wake up, Mr. West. Wake up, Mr. West.
What's your perspective on the news about Kanye West, like with the shirt he was wearing? Like, what's your perspective of what's going on? We also got a clip for you.
Yeah, we have that clip of Kanye West and Candace Owens wearing the White Lives Matter t-shirt, which has the entire, urban community in an uproar. And it's sad because, after they break up all the fracas and, the dust settles, we're left with more ignorance. Because this is exactly what I've been trying to highlight with people that are so highly influential, like Kanye West. Someone like that should know better than to wear a shirt like that, considering the temperature of the world today. You're entitled to freedom of speech. No one can ever take that away from you. People practice the Fifth Amendment every day. It's life. But when you are someone as influential as Kanye West, and you have like a band of loyal followers, people spending their last paychecks on your clothes and your sneakers, and then you go and put something like that out, sending a really fucked up message. And I always felt like, Kanye West did things to galvanize his following, because he always picked and chose when to do what he did. He likes to be conveniently black. It's really, really hard for me. I always adored Kanye West. I always thought he was genius. Somebody said the shirt is a diversion, tactic, destruction of us, and bigger picture. Chela, please don't bust. Listen, I can't agree. I don't agree. I'm sorry. I'm just not going to. It doesn't matter what he was trying to do. The fact is, even if you're trying to wake people up, right now is not a fucking time to do that. Right now ain't a time. You know why? Because people listen and they follow. You're calling everybody sheep, but you are sitting there trying your hardest to break into the fashion industry. Which one are you? Are you a fucking designer or are you a rapper? That's what I want to know. If music was your first love, why does it hurt you so much when the fashion industry doesn't accept you? Why does it matter? You were never reveling in that space to fucking begin with. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care about his diversion. He's not the fucking master planner. Who the fuck is Kanye West to come and fucking say, hey, wake up, people? Motherfucker, you are living in pain and guilt, and you like to play mind games. I don't care what anyone says, because I'm going to tell you like this. That man lost his mind the minute he found out his mom passed away. And he also feels responsible for that death because he was the one that paid for her to have that surgery. So let's
I
talk
kind
about it.
of I feel the same. I feel like he's different ever since what he went through with his mom, losing his mom. I know that has to be hard because I can relate to that, not having my mom. So but he just seemed like he's so different now.
Listen, we all heard it, on 808s and Heartbreaks. I'm
Yeah.
no longer a fan of Kanye West. I haven't been for some time. Because to be honest with you, if you have to be that fucking tantrumatic about everything you say and do, I don't want to hear that shit all day, because you have to learn how to eloquently get your fucking point across without being disrespectful and ignorant. They said he literally sells dingy clothes like slave clothes. He's a bug out. This is what I'm saying. How are you going to sit there and tell your people to wake up and you're selling them junk? You're selling your own people bullshit. Because you know they'll fucking buy it. He's stuck in the middle. It's his fault, Chella. But all I'm saying is to look deeper. I'm not looking deeper into anything Kanye West does. I'm sorry. I'm tired. I'm no longer going to try to understand the severity of mental health and make sense out of it. I'm not doing that because that makes me just as crazy as him. And I'm not crazy. I'm far from it. Okay? I'm all for theories and conspiracies and facts, but this is way out of fucking line. I don't care what anyone says. This shit is out of line. Kanye West does not care about black people. Not nowhere fucking near enough as he makes it seem. Because if that was a fucking case, why the fuck didn't you have kids with a fucking black woman? You didn't. You didn't have no kids with a fucking black woman. You had kids with a fucking European. You love your people so much. Why the fuck didn't you make more of us? I'm just saying. I'm outraged because I'm fucking disgusted because the last thing we need is a band of more mental health fucks doing some bullshit because they fucking listening to Kanye West. You see how Trump is being held accountable, okay? Held accountable for the insurrection. He wasn't there. He didn't hold a gun to anyone's head and make them do that. However, his influence created the environment for that. And this is exactly what I'm saying. Kanye West is an icon. If he doesn't care about the message he puts out, knowing people are going to follow him regardless, then you can't take it. Exactly. But this is the problem. A lot of people are going to take him serious because a lot of people are fucking fanatical. So you got to consider, we're talking about, like I said, it doesn't matter why he got with Kim. He had kids with her. End of story. You cannot justify it. You cannot sit there and scream pro-black and then have babies with a fucking European. The same fucking Europeans that came to the fucking country and fucking snatched us from where we were fucking from and brought us somewhere else. That's the same fucking people you supporting. You sit here popping shit. You want to get technical. Let's fucking dismantle the whole thing. I'm done. I'm done. I'm sorry. I'm not black when I feel like it. I'm black every day. Kanye West picks and chooses. I no longer support the man. And those are facts. I'm sorry. I will never buy another piece of Yeezy clothing, sneaker, and I damn sure won't be fucking downloading any albums. I'm sorry. I am so done with it because there's no way you're going to go back and forth. You disrespect women on social media 24/7, 365. But you're supposed to be a man. You're a man, right? What kind of man disrespects his woman or his ex on social media? Like, he is so attention seeking, it's disgusting. He's worse than the girls that twerk on Instagram. You're bugging if you don't think that. This man is sitting there disrespecting the entire fucking culture. That's why I was glad that that gentleman came for his neck when he tried to say what he said about Virgil Abloh. Virgil Abloh was the dopest black designer, one of the dopest black designers. And it didn't matter if his wife was white. I don't care. That's his personal life. That's his personal life. But for you to sit there and say his work was trash when you're fucking distressing clothes and selling it for the highest bidder, and then for you to openly say, oh, I wanted Yeezy slides to be $20, but Adidas won't let me charge only $20. I've seen Adidas items that cost $10 and $20. You mean to tell me you're so demanding all across the board in every fucking way you can't shut your fucking mouth and you can turn around and tell Adidas, yo, I don't care. I'm not charging my people $200 for slippers. He could have. He had the power to do it. He didn't. He sits there and talks about elevation of his people and how much he cares about them and what he wants for them and puts them in fucking line to spend their last paychecks on his clothes and then sits there and brags about how he's able to do this. Able to pull a following no matter what. Drop a dud, niggas still stay up. Not no more. Not no more. I'm sorry. Y'all can support him all you want. I'm not playing. Somebody said he plays both sides, but he did explain within the song. Can't tell me. Listen, that was the old Kanye West. You talking about old Kanye West. And at the end of the day, if y'all niggas know the formula and still support it, then you clowns too. I'm not supporting nothing Kanye West does. I don't care. And I don't care. I don't care. It's my opinion. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Kanye West wanted to have a meeting with me tomorrow. I would definitely have a meeting with him and let him know you're a fucking clown. You want to talk about coonery, nigga? It's you. You. You got all this money. Do your own fashion show by yourself. He said, I wore the White Lives Matter shirt to show people that they're sheep and to wake them all up. And I wanted the most attention at the fashion show. You make hazmat suits and you're trying to get people to dress like they're still in COVID. That's style to you? Covering yourself from fucking head to toe, creating this bloody lip, looking like you got beat. I'm just trying to understand why you have to be so fucking extra, because there's so many ways to get a point across without doing all that. No longer a fan of Kanye West. I could totally see why Jay-Z exited stage left. He's not a worthy person, not even as a friend, not as a businessman. I don't care if they call him a genius or not. You're disrespectful to your people, and that's just how I feel about it. Kanye started bugging out after his mom died. It has nothing to do with Kim. He started bugging out after his mom died. After his mom died, he lost his marbles. Let's post that clip of Kanye wearing that stuff. So y'all get a good look of why this is so so upsetting, and why people are outraged. Because this is serious shit. And then Lauryn Hill.
No. I love Kanye. I love Kanye. But no, we're not doing this, y'all. Nuh-uh. Aside from the fact that White Lives Matter was just an empty blanket statement created in a racist response to Black Lives Matter, which was created because we were being murdered, still are, and people already know that White Lives Matter. You don't need a shirt for that. Not Kanye West. Not the same person that just was saying fuck Gap and Adidas, all ran by white people who obviously is the financial majority of the world. You know what you should do, Ye? You should steal money from them white people.
I don't know how much more you guys need, my opinion, this opinion, that opinion. People can say whatever they want. They can say keep Kanye West a genius. Listen, if the Kanye West train is the only train to be on, then I guess I'll be walking. Because I ain't fucking with it. I'm not. You're not going to, poison your people and then turn around and say, oh, no, I was just playing. No. We're not doing that. I don't know why the comments are disappearing so fast. Kanye's brainwashed by the industry, of course. We've been said that. Kanye West is the most brainwashed motherfucker in the industry. And he shifts back and forth from one space to the next. He's always, and then you sit there and you blast all these people and their personal business. A$AP Rocky sleeping with Yoon, this and that. Why is any of this relevant to you wearing that t-shirt? They said he was talking too much and they took his mother away. That is punishment for going against the machine. Listen, I can see that totally being possible. Totally being possible. Because, they always give and take. That's just the price of fame. But again, not a fan. Disgusted. And you know what? I hope every Black person decides to no longer support him. Because let me tell you something. Stop buying. Somebody said, let's be real, damn near every Black person in Hollywood is capitalist. And they use Black people and love Black people to support their ratings. But they don't care about Black people. Of course they don't. That's a fact. And this is why Kanye West showing up to Paris and wearing that shirt and doing it to who you trying to upset? Because white people ain't upset about that. You're not making them feel bad about that. So the message you're sending, I'm a little confused as to who the fuck you actually sending it to. Because it don't make sense to me. Maybe one day, but right now I don't get it. And I'm going to just leave it like that. We're done with you, Kanye. I pray he gets canceled. He deserves it. And I already know for a fucking fact that the minute motherfuckers stop buying his shit, stop supporting his stuff, watch what will happen. He's going to be quiet. You won't hear shit out of him no more. He won't throw fucking tantrums anymore. They said copper tone people are the real white people. People of light leaders of the carbon when you do research. What? Okay, I guess. I mean, but, nonetheless, there's no excuse anymore for Kanye at this point if his mother is he paid for. Exactly. Like, there's nothing you could tell me no more. You sitting here talking about black this, black that, black this. Like I said again, if you felt like Black people needed so much saving, why the fuck did you have babies with a European? Why didn't you have babies with a Black woman? If you cared about this race and the elevation of it so much, why didn't you just make more of us? No. He did what every other fucking nigga do when they get rich. They find him a white bitch. That's just what it is. They either find him something exotic looking, Asian mix or whatever, or find him somebody white. model looking, because that's like the it thing to do when you reach the upper echelon, is now you find this trophy piece of a woman, and that's how that goes. So you're no different than anybody else. You know what I'm saying? No different than all the other niggas you're talking about. But yeah, we're done with Kanye. We went on our Kanye rant. No more energy for him. There's a lot of things going on social media though, aside from that. Man, Kanye, he takes a lot out of me, man. Yeah, well, everybody not the same. Some people, they get a couple dollars and they switch sides. So I don't know if y'all know, over a week or two ago, there was something going around on the internet with Bobby Shmurda. And I love Bobby Shmurda. I feel like he's the epitome of loyalty when it comes to how he deals with things and his friends. Shout out to Brooklyn. Shout out to the 90s. Shout out to Flatbush. He's a real one. But that video, I was like, damn, that really do look like a boy. It was weird that a gentleman had came out and made a joke and said that was him in bed with Bobby. And then turned around and said, oh, I apologize. I would never want to hurt or expose anyone. And I'm like, oh, what a delicate choice of words. You could have said something else, or you could not said nothing at all. They're still trying to
Exactly.
Right? They're still trying to locate the girl that was the one actually behind the covers, and it was an interesting thing. Shout out to Bobby Shmurda, man. Somebody said I couldn't believe that the guy exposed Bobby like that. I mean, I want to hope and pray that Bobby isn't, because I fuck with Bobby, and I know that that's not a path he want to be walking down, considering he's from Brooklyn, he's from East Flatbush. It's still very Caribbean, very frowned upon. And he's Caribbean himself. Okay. Yeah. So, shout out to Bobby Shmurda. BET Awards. So I don't know. The ones that know me know I don't watch award shows. I mean, the way I see it is like this: if I ain't winning, I don't really care. I never really cared for the way BET did award shows. The only thing I really liked was the BET Cyphers. I thought the BET Cyphers was fire. It was very mediocre, to say the least. Lil TJ's performance, was all auto-tune. He had on a bulletproof vest. It just makes you Young Miami won an award for best platform with her Carisha Please, and it beat Drink Champs. And even Charlemagne said it, and he said it best. Right. How is that possible? How does a girl that says she wants to be the next Black Oprah beat out Drink Champs?
And the other podcast, what is it?
$1 Million Worth of Game.
Yes, I was surprised that they didn't get an award. I don't know. That's just my perspective. I was surprised.
Nah, Drink Champs is better than that though.
Well, of course, Drink Champs is, but
Drink Champs is one of the best, only because I'm gonna tell you this. One thing that Noriega knows how to do is welcome people to that show.
Well, no, yes, of course, but both of them were.
But listen, he also dives deep into music, hip hop situations that were historical in hip hop, and helps to bring an understanding to the people that didn't know the details behind it. And Young Miami, she's talking about this girl talk. I don't want to hate on nobody, shout outs to everybody that's successful in that. But I just feel like when you start to bring attention to things like Carisha Please and give them an award over Drink Champs, or give her an award over Drink Champs, it sets the tone for people to believe that they could put out bullshit,
And
continue
you hear
putting
what
out
he
bullshit,
asked. He said,
and
"Did
there's
you
going to be
pay for
support
that?"
for it. And that's
Yeah.
my issue with that, is that they said Glorilla's still young and she signed CMG, which is a bold move. What does that got to do with Carisha Please, baby? We talking about the show. I feel like, you know, her winning that award, Faith, that shit spoke volumes on how Diddy could sit there and pull plugs like that.
Yes.
I don't care what nobody says. Somebody, and Charlamagne said you paid for both of those, and he
That's
said no, ain't
exactly
no
what
money.
he
I didn't pay
said.
for Carisha Please. You didn't pay for Carisha Please. No, you gave her a platform. You didn't have to pay. She had the following. You had the platform. You collabed and created a show, and now she's successful in that field. What I don't understand is how we skipped past actual journalism. That's my problem. Like I said, how do we skip past real journalism? How does a person who has no journalistic ability get to blow past someone who actually has knowledge and history? Okay, I just, this is all done by numbers. And if numbers are all you need, then then no one needs talent, right? We don't need talent. The numbers are there. You don't need talent. The industry has shown us over the years that, they give these large advances to artists when they sign them. But now, and in these times, the artist does most of the work. Whether they get on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and blow up overnight, right? They created their own fan base. They have their own style already. There's just so much that they've already accomplished on their own, and yet and still, the label wants so much more from them. I mean, at this point, what do you really even need a label for if you did most of the work already? It's just so much to consider. It's like a lot of free money out here. And I just wanted people to know that my personal opinion on Carisha Please isn't because I want to, discredit Young Miami in any way. Listen, sis, get it how you get it. All I'm saying is it takes away from the people that really take the craft serious. You got some people that really, really, really are good at journalism, really, really care to expand on journalism. And they're watching someone with no
Agreed.
talent win an award
Exactly.
for that. There's so many people out there that probably stayed up late at night studying, looking for techniques to use, things that aren't intrusive, all kinds of shit, just so that they can get it right. I'm talking about to a T, and they really love what they do. That might not ever see a fucking award for that. And then you got a girl who wants to call herself the next Black Oprah, wins an award. It's like we congratulate mediocrity all day, every day. Like, I just don't get it. Man, yo, if this ain't a fucking sign of the times, people, I don't know what is. She should have never tied with Drink Champs. Never. Ever. She should have never fucking tied with fucking Drink Champs. Ever. That should not have been.
That was so weird. I was surprised.
You and me both. You and me both. I don't feel like her show was worthy of an award. I congratulate her for being able to be bold enough to try to do something like that. But I don't feel like her coming straight out the gate and winning an award was healthy for today's culture, because you guys don't realize that every message that being sent is being taken so literal.
I,
So literal.
yeah, I just rather
You
she,
gotta be careful.
just not
Gotta
that
be careful.
award with Noriega. They should have got it all by themselves, and that's just my perspective. If they was gonna win, but yeah,
I wasn't happy about it. I really enjoyed Drink Champs. I really dig Noriega's style of interviewing.
yeah, he takes
Um,
it serious.
and he takes it serious. I remember when Drink Champs was just like a table, a couple bottles of liquor, and him in a room with a camera. And look at how much the show has grown. The guests that he's had on the show, and so on and so forth. It's like, if anything, Drink Champs and $1 million worth of game time.
I
Pretty
said
much.
that.
I mean, if you
I
wanted to be real and talk about really good podcasting shows,
that's what I
Drink
said way
Champs and,
before
and,
this
and $1 million
comment.
worth of game would probably be the best ones.
Yeah.
I don't see how Carisha Please made it on that level with them. I'm sorry. That's just how I feel about it. And I'm not trying to discredit because I'm a black woman myself. I'm just saying she don't got enough talent to revel in that space with these people. She don't. But somehow, humping on Diddy, it is what it is, man. It's always about who you know, you know? Man. Moving forward, there's a couple more things I want to discuss. Drink Champs is getting a lot of views because it's so out here. I mean, Drink Champs is a good show. It's a good show. Faith, what else did we have in mind? There was a couple of things on social media we wanted to discuss today. Faith,
I want to go back. I know
I can't hear you.
you can't hear me?
I can hear you now.
Oh, okay. I know we kind of passed Kanye, but I want to show this clip that you spoke about earlier today, and shout out to Hollywood Unlocked. It's this young lady, and she actually did a freestyle.
Oh, Chicology, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, so
I
let's run. We're
enjoyed
gonna
her
run it back, you
freestyle.
guys. For everybody that's watching,
Yeah, you
we're
guys
just
gotta
gonna
check this
show
out.
this.
This
We
was a
gotta
good,
give
it was a
her
good
the
freestyle.
credit
She
and
did
shout
that
out
with
to
Jesus
Hollywood
Walks.
Unlocked.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
because
killed that with
they
Jesus Walks. I remember.
always have the great content. So let me go ahead and run this clip.
Okay.
Yeah, now Mr. West, take a seat, I implore ya. Over time it seems it's gotten harder to ignore ya. You undo the progress of the geniuses before ya. King gave you the box and now we know you can afford her. It don't matter how much money you got or you lack. When that check clear, don't forget your children is still black. And your music has been whacked and your views are moving back to a day that trigger niggas cause we still hear that whip crack. I'm passionately passing out some knowledge, son. I'ma level with you cause we both dropped out of college. You been wildin' harder than New York and Sister Patterson. You not an OG, a repertoire do not matter, son. I gotta admit it, I'm annoyed. You came up on niggas' coin. We thought you could fill a void. You a puppet. You looked at all your fans and you said, fuck it, I'm on now. That nigga from graduation, sorry y'all, he gone now. Cole tried to warn us. Trump wanna reform us. Built him up from nothing and now this how he reward us. How you say you Jesus but did nothing to restore us. You support the people up in power that abhor us. I don't give a fuck about.
See?
I don't give a fuck about your clothes or your wife new naked pose or the fact that you can stand for what the people all oppose. It's not a cross you had to take up. I just pray to God that one day you can wake up.
She did that.
Shout out to Chicology, man. Shout out to Chicology.
Shout
That
out
was
to
tough. That
Hollywood
was tough.
Unlocked
This is what I'm
too.
saying. We need a nice reset, a restoration for our culture. Someone has to do it. We
Yeah,
have
she
to
bodied that.
literally clear the fucking room and start from scratch. Take music back to where it should be, where you had to have real talent. Take everything back to raw authenticity, talent. That's what we need. We don't need no more fucking numbers. We need fucking talent. Okay? Not numbers, talent. 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 Bring back talent. Bring it back. Bring it back. Put it, but like, you know why? Because when people have to compete for their spot, they work harder for it. Okay? There's a lot more honesty that comes with it. Okay? And when people find that it's so easy, just like Young Miami winning an award, Kanye West saying and doing as he pleases, not caring how people react because he always feels like he'll have forever support, shit like that. Change that. Drain the fucking well and let it refill on its own with the rain. Let God do what he's supposed to do. Stop stepping in the fucking way and juicing shit up.
So since we played that clip, we got your perspective on that and your comments. I
just like what she said when she said you undid what was done by so many greats before you.
With
and
his
this is
beat.
exactly what I was trying to say. Kanye West is literally tapping into the mental delicacies of people. And the reason why I call it a mental delicacy is because everybody's so fucking sensitive, because that gauge gun broke a long time ago, right? So because everybody's as sensitive as they are, when people like Kanye West have the influence they have on these mentally weak people, these mentally delicate people, you now create a cult-like environment.
Yeah.
And I
So
could
enough
totally see
about
him being a
Kanye.
Jim
We
Jones. He's
we
that type
gave
of person.
let's move on. Let's discuss Biden with the pardoning the marijuana
Oh,
offenders and
right.
stuff.
Okay, so yeah, for those that haven't seen, and I'm pretty sure you have, President Biden is going to start pardoning anyone who was arrested for marijuana offense under the federal law. That took a long time, considering how long
Yeah.
ago marijuana has been legalized. I don't even know why it would take this long to start releasing these people. Okay. Um, congratulations to those that will be released, because he's now starting to put the pieces together and take into consideration the fact that these people now, more than likely, it'd be difficult for them to find jobs, find homes, and all that, just because of the record. And it's a meaningless record to have, because, like I said again, and I always say it, weed don't hurt nobody. It's the stupid people that smoke weed that hurt people. But most of the time, people that are high, they're too lazy. I think you have more activity out of like someone who's drinking or doing coke or some shit like that. You ain't really gonna find nobody high on weed that's trying to fight and commit a crime. Most of the time, they be sleeping. They probably ain't getting shit done. If anything, that's just the world of procrastinators. Marijuana. I know I'm one of them. I'm gonna smoke as soon as we're done here. But you know what? Good move, Biden. Good move,
Good
considering
move.
how
And just
fucking
hopefully
fucked
he
up.
hurry up and complete it. Because it's just like, when is he just gonna complete? Just complete it. Just do it.
Yeah, he needs to hurry the fuck up. He's well, he moves slow. And then I saw that Brittany Griner, her wife, went on to talk. I think she was talking with Gail, and she said
Yeah.
that Brittany is afraid that she's being forgotten about. Her life doesn't really matter because of her case that's going on in Russia. I mean, if President Biden is pardoning people for marijuana, he needs to get with Putin and figure this out, because
I'm surprised he hasn't taken care of that. I thought he's supposed to do that like months ago.
right. At this point, she is a political pawn. However, her breaking the law doesn't. I don't think it entails such an extreme punishment. 9 years is OD. Come
Did
on,
you
man.
hear about that young lady that was over
She only
there?
went for 2 months. Yeah, it was a
Mm,
white girl.
But she had way more. She got caught with way more and got less. 2 months,
Well,
really?
that goes to show also skin color. And then Brittany Griner's an athlete. They felt like she was an important piece. So they thought that, holding her hostage was going to get them their war guy back. And it didn't work out that way. And that guy, that war criminal, the U.S. was like, no, this doesn't equate. He kills thousands of people. No. I'm certain that they're going to work this through. I do believe she'll come home. I just don't think it's going to be now. I think next year. I'm going to be perfectly honest. Next year. But the sad part about it is, she stands to lose it all being in this situation, because I'm almost certain that this scenario probably voided her contract with the WNBA. So that's the fucked up part. I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
when she
messing
comes
with her
back, she's going to
money.
come back to nothing. If she's lucky, she'll have something, but it's fucked up. It's a fucked up way to be. And Antonio Brown, AB,
Oh,
that
yes.
fucking guy. What the hell, man? Like, seriously, man, money, they say money's the root of all evil, and it really
Yeah.
is, because when you think about the amount of nonsense that goes on, and it's always with people with money. Always. The money ones, they're worse than the ones that are broke. And the ones that are broke got way more problems. And still, we don't do some of the shit y'all do. The financially wealthy ones, they just, he said that the woman was leaving with his swimming trunks. But what did that have to do with you posting Giselle Bundchen, Tom Brady's wife? When I saw that, I was like, and people went on to say, Tom Brady, look out for him. Tom Brady was the reason he was able to even have the career he has. Tom Brady's probably one of the best in the NFL. Not only that, AB has been saying and doing a lot of strange things lately. A lot of people saying that he suffers from the CTE. Faith, are you familiar with that? The brain injuries that come through playing football. There's a condition now called CTE.
Yeah.
That movie Concussion that Will Smith did. If you guys want to know more about it, it's in that film. I do feel he's concussed because what the fuck would possess you to act this way? Just wildly inappropriate all the time. I don't know, man. You got to pray for people like that. You really do, because at this point that's all you can do, because you can't take their money from them, right? But you also can't stop them from doing the fuck shit that they do because they have the money. They're just gonna find themselves in a situation. See what happened to R. Kelly? Stop acting like you're unstoppable, because when they're ready to take it from you, they're gonna take.
They most definitely gonna show them.
Yeah, it's rough. So, we're going to talk about something a little bit controversial for some people. I put a comment in my stories today and I said, quitting your job so that you don't have to pay child support is crazy.
Ooh.
Crazy. But we're going to talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
We're going to talk about it.
That's the big topic right there.
It is. Child support is a huge topic. Because you see so many relationships that come to an end, and usually the child is always in the middle, suffering to some extent because of this breakup. The thing about it is, I'm telling you, this is a touchy subject, but a lot of women are going to agree. You do have the exception of women that will go out there and intentionally, somebody said, I dated a man who did it. I left him, but I saw it sadly. Damn. There are the exception of women that will have a baby intentionally because they know that man's financially well off. And they know that they'll be too. And, the child is basically, the go-between for that. Made it happen. Made it possible for this endless check to come for the next 18 years. Very little work involved. Yes, there are women like that, for sure, 100%. But every woman isn't like that. Every woman isn't like that, just like every man isn't a cheater. Speaking of men, before I go deep into this, I want to play a clip of masculinity, femininity, why people give love the way they do, but what is needed in order for that love to be given. So there was a clip I saw on social media, and I'm going to play it for you guys really quickly. Let's play that.
All right. I'm about to ready to run.
When a woman feels safe, she gives you her all. She'll give you her life because she knows she can trust you. That's how beautiful love is. And then when a man is in his masculine, he is able to receive that life, that heart, that soul, because he knows God has entrusted her and only her to him. So he is able to provide that safety for her, and she is able to just let go and be her true divine goddess self. I just wish the world could understand this, because life is so beautiful when you get there, man.
I loved it. And I love that clip particularly because he went on to talk about the roles that have to be played in order for this to happen the way it should. Women, 9 times out of 10, we fall in love with the man. We give all our all. And in that process, you give them a baby too. Right? So imagine giving someone your all and pushing out a baby by them. You and this person created this flesh together. And then this person, now you guys no longer desire each other. That love phase that you were once in when you adored everything that person said and did no longer exists. You guys find yourself pushing each other away, going in separate directions, but the children are always the important part here. Always, no matter what. And they should always be. I'm seeing a lot of men try to be spiteful towards the mother when the mother is in need of help, thinking that this is a personal agenda. There's nothing personal here when it comes to your kids. You know, and my biggest issue with men that go to court for child support and they're mad that they're paying child support. I mean, let's be real. If you were helping, would you even be on child support? Now, granted, like I said, there's an exception. There's an exception of women that do things out of spite. When they can't get the guy, they'll take the guy to child support. There's situations where a girl that just wants child support money because she wants finance,
Exactly.
etc. Again, let's exclude those women. Let's exclude those women. Let's talk about the single mothers. The single mothers like the mother you have. Because I know a lot of you men were raised with single mothers. Let's talk about your aunts, your cousins, your sisters. Let's talk about those scenarios, the ones that you have a direct connection with and you're familiar with how this operates and you know why these men operate the fashion that they do and vice versa with the women.
Let's talk about it.
Okay. So I had to unplug the system because. So what I was saying again, for those that have cousins, sisters, aunts, a mother, anyone who lives a single mother's lifestyle, you know all too well why this is important. Why it's such a big deal. Someone said they're comfortable seeing it. And this is the problem also that, you know, again, that kind of lifestyle and the finding ways to create normalcy within it are what bring are those are elements that bring forth comfort. My biggest issue though is when I hear a man say something like, I don't have a job or I'll quit before I give you child support. You know, you can't be mad when your child graduates and doesn't want you at the graduation. You can't be upset when, you know, these children don't want to hang out with you on weekends. They don't want to talk to you on the phone. They don't want to see your family. You created this environment for these children. These children now understand and they are now moving in the direction towards love. The people that want them, the mothers. Because guess what? When men don't want to be bothered with our babies, we always have to be bothered with our babies. See, we can't give up on them.
Can't give up. Got to make
We're
a
not
way.
parents out of convenience. When a woman carries a baby for 9 months and pushes that baby out, whether she does it in an hour, she does it in 10 hours, or does it in 3 days, it don't matter. She knows what she's taking on, and this is a new part of her life. This is a piece of her, and this is exactly what men should take on too. It's your life too. It's your kid. But to say you're gonna quit your job so that you don't pay child support, it's not a slap in your face to your baby mother. It's a slap in your face in the face to your kids. Your kids are the ones that are suffering, not the baby mother. She's gonna find a way regardless. But don't forget that that statement you make can never be taken back, and it can't be forgotten. Your children know the truth, and they deserve love 24/7, 365 from both parents. But because we know that that's just not the case, we have to move forward now. It's called child support, not mother support. So for you to think that, you know, half of the time, especially the ones that, you know, they're barely spending anything on a monthly basis for these children, you know, they say shit like, oh, I don't want you to go spending my money on you. What the fuck do you think she's going to do with your $125, my guy? Or your $250? If she was already a working woman, finding her way, doing what she needed to do for herself, what did you think that little bit of money was going to change in her life? No, you're changing something in your kid's life. You're putting food in their mouth. You're buying them clothes. If they need Pampers, whatever necessities these children need, that's where that money.
And being honest, this day and time, that 250 does not go nowhere. I mean, it helps. It
I mean,
helps.
inflation. All of us are experiencing inflation.
Yes.
Men,
So,
women alike. Children too. School ain't cheap. School uniforms aren't cheap. This is what I'm saying. There's so many things here, so many dynamics to take into consideration. We're not going to dismantle the entire scenario, but we are going to talk about the more important piece here, which is how it makes children feel. To
so I
know
gotta
that
give the
their
pudding.
dads don't want to support them.
And just give credit to the ones that can co-parent and they can work out something
No, there's some
that
phenomenal
works.
dads out there.
That
Trust
is so
me, that
phenomenal.
I know that there's a lot of phenomenal dads out there, great dads that would never, ever do anything to hurt or harm their children. And they might have bitches for baby mothers. And then there's some that they just have a good dynamic and it couldn't work out, but they co-parent very healthy. Of course. Somebody said there's a diaper drought. Well, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
It
wow.
won't be because men are buying diapers. But you know, somebody said some women look for the pity party you're giving and saying anything for false single mom story. Listen, again, I said exclude
Yeah,
those
they
women. You see, exclude, keyword exclude. Exclude the women that take it for a game. Okay? We're talking about the ones that have to do this day in, day out, 24/7, 365, no help, and don't complain about it. Got a lot of those.
well, look
My
at that,
mom was one of them.
fella.
You might disagree or agree, but I want to, as someone who was raised by a single mother and dealt with sometime dad, wouldn't it be better to just take an L instead of forcing someone to do something? You can't, I feel like you can't force them to physically be in the child's life, but yes, financially, I'm not
Yeah.
fucking taking this ride by myself. Are you crazy?
Mm-mm.
On top of the fact that you don't want to be in the relationship, you don't want to work things out, that's fine, things happen. But if you think for a second, I'm gonna raise a kid by myself and pay for everything by myself, nah, we're going to court. We're going to court
Yeah.
because on top of the fact that you're physically not here, you're going to financially help. That is your responsibility too, not just mine. And that's the problem. Men, you know,
Yes, huh?
some men, I don't want to say all men, some men do things like this. And, you know, in turn, we're not talking about the women that have financial issues. I said exclude those women. Please don't interrupt me anymore because I don't got time to keep going back. I already said it. We're excluding the ignorant ones. Families in the US struggle to provide diapers in order to keep an infant or toddler dry, clean, and healthy, of course. Unfortunately, you know, it's hurtful to watch. You know, the amount of men that will literally sit there and disgrace their children's mother um just for the fact that she needs help with her kids. I've seen it all too many times. You know why? Because my mother went through it too. I went through it too. I was a single mother. I'm still a single mother. My mother was a single mother of three. I'm a single mother of one. And I feel like life is hard with one. Imagine three. Imagine three kids. My mother was a single mother of three children
Hmm.
who never got a dollar from my father until I was 16. And even then, she was getting like $100 and something a month. And that money came and went so fast because as soon as we hit 18, he made sure he went back to dismantle that.
Mm.
This is what I'm saying. How could you love and adore your other parent when you know that they didn't even care to help you financially? And they know that this is an important part of life. To raise someone, you need finance, but you don't care. You know, to the fathers out there that do care, God bless you for being involved because
Amen.
you're sending such an important message to your son or daughter, teaching them how to love and love in return. Um, it's sad when I see women cry because of the lack of help. You know, women that turn around and hurt their children because of lack of help. There's a lot that comes with it. Not everybody's equipped to be a single mother.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these women don't have what it takes and it's too much for them. So a father turning around and leaving their child in the hands of someone who might be mentally ill, you're just as liable as the person who hurts the child because you knew. I'm just tired of seeing men, some men, I don't want to say all again, let me correct that. I'm tired of seeing some men avoid the responsibility of financially being there for their children because of the fact that they are bitter about the relationship status between them and the child's mother. If things don't work, they don't work. You should be adult like and understand that. And the children are not to blame. One of Nick Cannon's BM is struggling with the baby. She can't sleep. She can't stay awake. People in their comments told her to get Nick to come pay help physically or by paying a night nurse as she disagrees. They have enough money. You know, Nick Cannon is a rich dude. And, you know, you're out here, you got 10 kids. Of course, it takes a lot of courage to raise children, and you have to be present. You have to be mentally present, physically present, financially present. You know, these children, they need a lot all across the board. They learn everything about being an adult from us until we give them a phone. Then it's different. But the first thing they know about life, adulthood, love, experience, we are their first teachers. So if they're learning everything from us and the first thing they see is an absent parent, and then on the phone they're hearing things like, oh, I don't have any money to give, or I'm not giving you any money for you because you're going to spend it on yourself. And you're just saying to yourself, like, you know, I'm just over here trying to make ends meet. And all I need is a little bit of help for this kid. And for you to be in the position where you actually have to bite your tongue, you know, bite the bullet to your fucking stuff in your face, and you can't even get $1 for your kids still. I'm sorry. I'm an advocate for it. Child support. Child support. You have to learn one way or another. This is a two-way fucking street. You know what I'm saying? Because New York, I think, is the only state that allows men to see their children even when they don't pay child support. You know, and you got a lot of people that deign on the fact that they don't pay. They
Oh,
think it's funny.
wow.
Yeah, they say things like, oh, I don't care, take me to court, you're going to get $25 a week. You're okay with only
I've
wanting to
heard
give your
guys
child.
say that too. And
Yeah,
I
you're okay. You only want to give your child, if that's what your child is worth, your beautiful child that you're supposed to
oh, they
adore
have
is
say
only worth.
$65 a month. That's hurtful.
Extremely. Extremely, only because when you think about it, childcare is at least $250 a week. At
Hmm.
least. At least. Okay? And I'm just going off of numbers that I'm familiar with. They might have changed. It could be more. But if it's at least $250 a week, then you have to consider childcare. You have to consider transportation. You got to consider laundry. You have to consider food. All of these things so that this child can survive. So that the parent can go to work. You know, granted, again, let's not exclude there's a lot of scam shit going on. But for the ones that aren't, please take into consideration how you make that woman feel, how you make that child feel. You know, it's hurtful for all parties involved, and you won't gain from it. Saying things like you'll quit your job to avoid paying child support is one of the most disgusting statements that could come from a father.
Mm.
You're running from your responsibility. You don't care about that child, because if you did, you wouldn't be doing that. You wouldn't say such a thing. If you really cared, you would probably just come to a middle ground with your daughter's mother or son's mother and say, hey, where can we meet financially? Because this is what I could afford and this is what I could do for you. What's going on over there? But, you know, that takes a lot of maturity. And unfortunately, most parties aren't. And it's sad. It's just, it's sad when I see children suffer because of it. Somebody said, got to make them sacrifices and times in their life to make sure the kids are well taken care of. Of course, but most men don't look at it like that. Most men don't. They stick and move and they keep it pushing. And you know, when they get to go to court for child support, they're upset. Oh, it's not. They're not deserving of that. This, and that. Listen, you got what you deserve. You got exactly what you deserve. And what you deserve is to pay, because you don't care to be around a kid anyway. What difference does it make? I've seen it one too many times. I've seen fathers even give up, you know, visitation rights so that they can be taken off child support. Okay? I've heard a dad say, I don't want to see the kid, so give my money. You can keep the kid. I've heard that. I've heard things like, oh, I don't have a job. You'll only get $25 from me. I've heard things like, I'm not giving you money so you can go spend with another nigga. I've heard things like, you know, I just gave you money the other day. Cash App is like $50. They got like 3 kids. You know, I'm, you know, oh yeah, marriage before having kids. But I mean, again, you can't prevent anything from getting to this point, whether you're married or not, and you have a child with somebody, because even in a marriage, when you break up, things still get divided financially, et cetera, et cetera. So none of that makes a difference, to be perfectly honest. None of it matters. It might be a healthier platform to start with, a healthier foundation, but it doesn't dictate how it's going to end at all. Because bitterness is bitterness. And when people are ready to dive right in, they go full force. Yeah, marriage doesn't solve. No, no. If anything, marriage kind of complicates it, because imagine being in a situation with someone and you guys have this, you know, huge blowout breakup, and now you guys got to split all of these things. You have to hire divorce lawyers. You have to figure out who's doing what, what's going where, who's going to get the kids on what day, how much. Like it's just, to me, it gets more intricate. Marriage is a beautiful thing when it's done out of love. Children are beautiful when they're made out of love. Children are beautiful because they're beautiful. They're innocent. They didn't ask to be here. So all I'm saying is, for the fathers out there that think that they're hurting their baby mothers by saying things like, oh, I'm not giving you no money, I don't got no money to give you, oh, go action, nigga, da, da, da. You know, your kids, they grow up and they in turn become now bitter toward you. Don't think for a second, not every time is it your baby mother is bashing you to the kids and saying things to make the kids turn away from their dad. Some kids pick up on energy. They're not stupid. They're growing to be adults too. They're listening and they're learning. And they're learning faster than fucking normal. Especially today's kids. Especially today's kids. So all I'm saying is, if you're smart, you better be very, very, very mindful, selective. Use fucking discernment in your verbiage in regards to your children. You know, because, you know, it's real shit. Again, we're going to just jump back into the shooting in Thailand. Put up that clip real quick, Faith. You know, I want to end the show by talking about this really quickly. Such a sad story. Still can't believe it, you know. 35 people were shot. 24 of them were children. Faith, do we have that clip? Faith? I don't know what's going on here. I guess not. Faith, do we have the clip of the Oh, the clip seemed okay, so we're having some technical issues with that clip. But again, you know, a father shoots up the daycare, kills 24 children, adults, and then goes home, shoots his wife and his son. Somebody said, yeah, what's a man meant without 1 or 2 or 3, so on. Issues statutorily consentment attached to this world love. Okay. You know, again, I just want to say, you know, prayers out to that country, Thailand. Prayers out to the family.
And that was really sad. Like,
it was a really, really sad story. You know, the families that lost their children, and you know,
how just like
the weight of the world can be heavy, but I wouldn't trade knowing for anything in the world. You know, a lot of people say things like, oh, don't watch the news, it's depressing, I can't deal with this, it's depressing. It's not depressing for me. I take what I need from it, and I make my own decisions. I interpret it as necessary. You know, I deal with it accordingly. I feel like, you know, we're in a very trying time. Again, mental delicacies, please pay attention to them. You know, if you know that a person might be a little bit sensitive according to their nature, then be mindful of what you say. Mm-hmm. A lot of people say things like, oh, I'm not going to censor myself. If you know that it's going to tip somebody over, you should. You should. unless it's something that absolutely needs to be said. But there's always a way to say things.
It's always a way to say
It's
it.
always a right way to say things. You don't necessarily have to be brash. You don't have to be, crass about it.
Not
There's
trying
so
to
many
embarrass someone.
ways. You don't have to, disrespect. But the thing about it is, people, this clickbait shit is real. Fan bases are, have more value than respect itself. People have lost respect for themselves and other people. And I know that there's still a lot of community-based things going on out there. It's just so upsetting when I see people choose to abuse abilities, you know. But being human, I couldn't trade anything for it. I mean,
Yeah.
you get one life, and I'm happy I'm living it. I just wish that, man, fuck, heal the world, make it a better place for you, for me, for the entire human race.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
wish it could be that easy,
I know.
you know?
I know. Somebody said the end times are near. People always say that. They've been saying that since
Yeah.
Y2K. They've been saying
Yeah.
back in 2000. I feel like things are going
They
to
had the
shift.
whole world scared about 2000, remember?
Yeah, I think things will shift because they always do. Things always tend to shift to a more peaceful space. When things get overly chaotic, there's always something major that comes and shuts it down. I just hope we don't get hit with a big bang. But, you know. Oh man, I kind of just wanted to go in today. I didn't even want to invite a guest because I wanted to just talk to everyone direct and just share my thoughts on some of these subjects because it's almost
You had a lot to unpack today. There's a lot going on.
a lot going on, but I feel like there needs to be more common sense conversations taking place on a daily basis to remind people that there are things that they can stay away from and be okay. You're not leaving anything behind. You're not losing anything, not entertaining certain things. Not everything is deserving of your energy. The problem is that social media has made everything such like everybody's got a front seat to everything that now they don't even want to miss a show. You know, and the fact that the availability is always there, the accessibility is always there. It allows people to think that they don't, that being a part of something is important. Being a part of a community physically is important. Being part of a social media community, if it's not activism, I really don't see the point. A lot of people just they enjoy the gossip, they consider it entertainment. It's been that way for years, and gossip to me is the dark side of journalism. I don't enjoy it particularly. That was like the whole thing. Did you guys see this week? Cardi B fighting with JT. And did you see that, Faith? She was fighting with JT. Then she had posted, she changed her
Yes.
profile picture to Remy Ma because Nicki Minaj had changed her profile picture to JT. And then I'm watching all these girls just go back and forth on social media. Okay. They were literally going back and forth, back and forth. I can never respect the person that kills babies or anyone. Just kill yourself. Oh, he did. He killed himself too. Yes,
Yes.
it's fucking horrible.
Went home and just did himself and the family.
The wife and the son. But yeah, Cardi B fighting with JT over.
I didn't even get that. I don't even think JT didn't say anything, do anything, right? Is he answer that I
Apparently,
missed?
this is what they're saying. I mean, of course, there's so much that we don't know because we're not in the industry. But they went on to say that JT congratulated Glorilla on the Tomorrow record in the top 10 spot she got doing the collaboration with Cardi
That
B.
was nice.
Right. So JT congratulated congratulated Glorilla. Someone mentioned, oh, why didn't you congratulate Cardi? JT went on to say, I give her congratulations all the time. this is Glorilla's time. Apparently, they went on to call each other names, lapdog, wiener dog, all this stuff. They went on to attack Cardi B's talent, which I noticed this is like one of the main points now. Every time there's an issue, the first thing they go to is reminding her she's talentless. Y'all brought her in though. Y'all voted for this girl. Y'all put her on this pedestal and allowed her to dip her toe into different elements of the entertainment industry until she found the right one. And then you guys let her take off. It's weird to me when people constantly say things like, oh, you have no talent, you have no talent, you have no talent, but you guys continue to allow them to be successful by streaming their music. You guys are responsible for this shit. If you guys hate it so much, then why don't you vote for the underdog? The one that has the talent but has no following. I'm just saying, like, to watch them go back and forth like that on social media. One of the blog owners got involved, mentioned a couple of other things. I mean, my biggest issue for me was I'm watching Offset and Akbar V go off about actually using guns on each other. And this was on social media. And I'm like, damn, if this was the average person, they'd be arrested already. Somebody said these fan bases are common denominator for all the beefs in the women in hip hop. Oh yeah, for sure. It's the fans that create the uproars. They say something smart, you know, and they know that it's going to bring attention, and they you know. I don't think that they don't want to see Cardi win. No, I don't think that's that at all. No, I don't think that's that at all. I don't agree. I don't think that they don't want Cardi to win. Cardi already won. So couldn't nobody stop nothing she was doing anyway. What I'm saying is, why are people that are as wealthy as these people on social media talking about what they'll do to each other? How have you guys not learned? That's most watched, talked about, and you're putting your plan in play on social media. Malibu Mitch shows up to High Bridge in the Bronx. Cardi B shows up there too. I mean, it was just, I was looking like, what is going on here? And if y'all want to fight, let me hold your bags, your shoes, and your purse. I mean, your bags, your shoes, and your wallet, or whatever. Like, I'll hold it. Y'all want to fight? Pass it to me. Go fight. Because while you're over there acting crazy and fighting each other, there's a bunch of people waiting for you guys to drop something. They can come get you. Remember, don't forget about the stick-up kids. They're always there. It's crazy to me how money just ignites more ignorance. It doesn't make people happy. It doesn't bring them peace. Because if it did, they wouldn't be conducting themselves in this manner. You know, people with money that are happy don't even indulge in ignorance. They're too busy making money. Now, granted, they might have free time on their hand because they can afford it. But why utilize it negatively if that's the case? You gotta pray for them. But we're done here. Thank you guys for tuning into the Chela's Way Experience. Make sure you're here next Thursday at 9 p.m. Can't wait to see you. Got more to talk about, and there will be a special guest. Stay tuned.